Hi, I'm Lauren Selden. I'm one of the jewelry and metalworking professors here, and I want to show you how to open up and shut down the studio. You'll be responsible for this every time that you're in here. So first thing, currently we still have a key lock. Eventually we might have a card swipe, but you're going to code in the class code that you'll be given. Open it up with that black lever. Open the door. Key goes back in. It's a little awkward with the chain, so just make sure you don't break the key. Scramble, put the black cover back over. Lights are right here. Turn on the lights. And usually you'll put a piece of wood in there so that your other classmates can get in. So we'll show you everything that we need to open up on the inside of the studio. So I've just come in, I'm the first one here. First thing that I'm gonna do is I'm gonna turn the pickle pot on. I'm gonna turn it on warm. That'll make sure that everything's ready for the rest of the students. The other thing that I like to do, again being the first one in, is I like to rinse out the baking soda and water bowl. I'm gonna fill it up with water. Grab some baking soda from underneath the sink. And it only just takes a couple of little shakes. That was probably a bigger shake than I wanted. It's also a good idea to check the sponges. If we have a bunch of sponges that are disgusting, you'll throw them out and add new sponges to the pumice and sponging area. Next is the soldering area. So I just turned around and now I'm going to get the soldering area turned on. And so I am going to zoom in a little bit here so that you can see our shut-off valve. So I'm just going to do a light pull and then you'll see the yellow exposed. If you are setting up for the whole studio, you're going to turn on the torches by turning just the gray wheel here and go lefty-loosey, lefty-loosey, and you should see that all of the pressure goes up to the red 6. And so I would go around and I would do each one. Here's a close-up of our regulator for a reminder about how to change the pressure. You can see that with the torch turned off, I have it about at a 5 or 6 on the red PSI numbers. So if I needed to adjust that, I have my torch here and I have my ventilation on, and so I open my torch up so I can see the gas, and then you see that it dropped down to right at a 5, which is exactly where I want it. If it was way up, so here you can see that it's gone higher, and if I needed to turn it down, I take the red pressure adjustment knob, and to release the pressure, I go lefty-loosey, and that's going to release the pressure. If I tighten the pressure adjustment knob, so righty-tighty or clockwise, it's going to increase the pressure. So you can see how that is working there. So we want it somewhere around a 5 or 6. It will be something that we have to change every once in a while, depending on the size of the torch tip. Intro students, I don't want you to worry about the red pressure adjustment knob at this moment. If you just see that this is way high, just ask an advanced student or the instructors or professors. So I've worked my way around the classroom, and I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to turn on the crock pot to warm. I'm going to go ahead and rinse if it needs it. Sometimes it looks really good because somebody shut down and they cleaned it up. But I'm going to rinse out our quench, baking soda quench here. I always make sure that there are copper tongs at every single, at every sink and at the solder station. And then tiny little shake, much better that time. And then I'm heading over here to the ventilation. So here's the ventilation for the room. You're going to need to use this for all soldering, casting, waxwork, things like that. So if I needed to adjust the pressure on the torch, I would have to come over here to turn on the ventilation first. So here you can see that there's an off, and then there's auto and hand. You can turn it either way. Both things will work. And then you'll hear it kind of powering on. If we needed to use the casting area, same thing. It's rare that we want or need all three on at the same time, but wall vent works the same way. Before we leave for the night, we'll be shutting off all of these vents unless there is a sign that says do not shut the casting vent off, which happens as well. That's the ventilation. So it's pretty easy. We opened up by coming through, turning on the pickle, cleaning up the baking soda and water if we need to, make sure there's copper tongs, walk over to the solder station, turn on the stop valve, turn on all of the torches by the gray knob. None of the torch handles should have gas coming out of them. And then we go over, turn on the other pickle, and if we needed ventilation, we would turn that on, when we're using it. Other than that, get to work. To shut down, everything is the opposite. Go around, shut off all the pickles, make sure that everything is cleaned up around the sinks, make sure the solder area is cleaned up. You're going to come out, turn off the lights, close, make sure that the key code is scrambled on the door. That's it. Please take care of all of our stuff. In certain semesters, the ultrasonic might be on and you can check and make sure that it's turned off, or maybe the wax injector or vulcanizer might be on. And so in those semesters, if you would go ahead and check those things when you shut down as well, that would be great. Have fun, make a bunch of stuff.